give some statements and we'll take the questions.
Well, this is about as disappointing as the losses we had since we've been here in the career. I thought our defensive effort was really lacking, and the thing that's troubling about that is that's where we got to hang our hat on. Our offensive woes are well documented, and our guys are aware of that. So if we have a chance to beat teams, I don't care if it's Arkansas State or LSU, we have to defend well. And I thought we got wrapped up in our offense way too much. We lacked defensive intensity. Our goal is to make people shoot contested jump shots, and I thought there was way too many uncontested jump shots out there. And even further beyond that, we've got to start giving a return on the investment. I think the administration, everybody's invested in this program, and we've got to start giving a return on that investment. And lastly, there were guys on the court there who really were out there competing, but at the end of the day, they shouldn't have been out there. Demetrius Houston played hard, but he's chasing guys, a shooter out there as a freshman in a clutch situation, and he shouldn't have been out there because our veteran guys haven't given back to the program. Falou Endo is out there missing a layup, and it's not Falou's fault. He shouldn't be out there at the end of the game like that. So our veterans got to make sure they start investing in the program, and everybody's at fault. I'm not throwing the players up underneath the bus. I got to make sure I find the right mixture of guys that's willing to compete, but also give us a chance to score some points too.
Questions?
Rick, in the first half, you took all the starters out and then put the freshman or the second team in, and you took them back out. Do you kind of regret maybe taking them out since they had so much momentum?
No, I don't think so. I mean, at some point in time, those guys have got to get a rest as well too, and you want to give those guys who are your so-called starters a chance to go back in there and improve themselves. So I didn't think we ended up losing that in the first half. I thought we lost it in the second half.
When you look at the numbers, I think your starters on scored 15 points. Do you see a rhyme or reason, or I mean, how do they? Obviously, you expect more than 15 points out of them.
Yeah, I think it's a variety of things. I think first and foremost, you look at it, we're 3 of 17 from the three-point line, and we shouldn't take that many three-pointers. And then we have to make a decision as a team. Do we want to be selfish by continuing to take those three-pointers, or do the right thing and pass up that open shot? Because the stats have shown that we're not going to make it. And so that's what we got to do. I've got to get the team to buy in to, like, even though you're wide open and it's embarrassing sometimes to pass the ball at the three-point line when you're wide open, it's the best thing for the team to move the ball and let's get a better shot.
What do you do over the next 2 days to get this team back ready to play on Saturday?
Well, I've got to find the right guys to play, and we're still searching for that. Obviously, with Chicken and IJ coming back from back surgery, they've missed a lot of reps right now, but those guys are physically, with their back, they haven't had any problems. But they're still not where they need to be at because they've missed so much practice in so many games. So we've got to get those guys back involved, and then we get from that point in time, we've got to figure out a rotation. But we've got to throw guys out there that's just willing to compete and do the best thing for the team. And that's my job as a coach, and make sure we find that right rotation, that right mixture.
Do you feel that all the teams regressed in the 23 days since you left?
If you look at the score and our losses, yes. But I thought, Michael, before this, we had our 2 best practices that we've had the whole season going into this. That's why this is such a disappointment, because I thought our guys did bring it in practice. But I tell you this, I think Coach Brady did a really good job of exposing our weaknesses. I think some coaches just go out and play the way they're going to play, but he did things like not guard Trevante Bloodman when they usually pressure, and so he just did a lot of good things to take away from what we do offensively.
Is there a sense, Fred and Rockwest kind of called this one of the most disappointing moments in their careers? How do you not, make it as big a thing as it's only December and you have the next game Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, that's the important thing for us, Michael. We've got to make sure that we've stopped the bleeding now. And so we had an opportunity here to come into the hump after being on the road in neutral courts to stop the bleeding, and that's what you expected. But it didn't happen. Now we've got to figure out a way, do this thing continue to bleed when we go play in Jackson, or do we figure a way to stop the bleeding?
Is there a way to get the team started more quickly in the sense that 16-2 against Oregon State and then fall behind again today?
Yeah, I think the mindset of what we're trying to do here, I thought against Oregon State, we turned the ball over and gave them points. I think at the end of the day, I think it was 23 points that they had off our turnovers in that game, which is a lot when you only hold a team to 59 points. This game here, I can't give you exact reason why we got off to such a poor start. I think more so than anything was our lack of defensive intensity. But I've got to make sure we find a way to not have this happen again, end of the day.
Do you think there's a way to get easier buckets in the sense 6 fast break points, 10 free throws for a team that struggles offensively? Is there a way to get easier points?
Yeah, well, we tried that, Michael. We did some things with our press, and if we went and looked at stats, our half-court defense is really good, but when we were pressing, we were in the 45th percentile in the nation as far as giving up points in our press. So what we wanted to do with our press was create some offense, but what we were actually doing for us creating offense for the other team and not creating offense for ourselves. So if you look at it statistically, us pressing is not the best thing to do. We need to rely on our half-court defense, which we have been pretty good at. I think we were at 37% of whole teams. And, you know, you go 2 straight games, you hold somebody to 59 points on their home court. Tulane was averaging 82 points a game, and we held them to 59 points. So I thought our defense, for the most part, was pretty good. That's the thing that's disappointing about tonight's game, is the fact that we didn't guard. I mean, we know we're going to have our offensive woes, but we don't have chances to beat anybody if we don't go out and compete on the defensive end.
Anything else?